Snooker is a game enjoyed and played by many across the world, and this is likely due to how simple the fundamentals and mechanics are. Tables are installed in almost every single bar, and some fortunate households are able to own one, but the one in the video that you are about to watch was in a metro station, the break room for the staff in particular. One day, a man called Cesar, one of the members of staff, claimed to have seen the snooker table have some balls move without any human interaction, and so he came to the decision of taking out his camera to record the table and see if it would happen again. Did it? Well, have a watch and find out.
Chucha, weón. Oh, conchetumare. Oh, mierda. Oh, qué weá. Qué weá. Oh, cabro. Cabro. Cabro, weón. Oh.
To the surprise of Cesar, it did in fact happen again, and this time it was even more aggressive than the last. He quickly took his findings to the main office in order to inquire about what they were going to do next. To the dismay of Cesar, nobody actually believed him and accused him of making some form of system that made the snooker balls move for attention. And since Cesar did not do this, he got rather offended. He quit the job with a 2-week notice and walked out of the building, praying that the gauntings would continue so that they would eventually believe him and he would get the last laugh. The following video took place inside the household of Abdul, a religious man who had full faith in a spiritual world that was by no means accessible to humankind. He believed that this world was full of entities, and whether they were evil demons attempting to cause chaos or holy angels trying to restore peace wherever the demons walked, they existed. Abdul did, however, believe that compared to the rest of the world, he was a nobody, and he would be the last person that a demon would attempt to torment. Well, in the video that I am going to expose you to right now, this theory was proven wrong. Quite a few things happened in this clip, with the primary focus being physical hauntings. The thing that I would like to point out the most, though, is the fact that the supposed demon pushed some form of holy scripture to the floor. Abdul explained after the incident that until this happened, he was okay and could cope with the situation, but after that his heart started racing. All the act did was prove that this poltergeist was not an angel of God, and rather a demonic creature from hell. Julio Gomez was a man who took pride in his hobbies, even though some of them were very abnormal, to put things lightly. For example, one of his most enjoyable activities was to visit all sorts of locations that are deemed as haunted and prove whether or not their label is true, and through this, he has gained a decent social media following. In the piece of content that I am going to show you, he visited the cellar of a bar that supposedly had a spiritual little girl haunting it, and the stories of her went back through absolute centuries. Julio knew that this spirit was not aggressive due to the reports, but just wanted to make sure that this wasn't some fake publicity stunt from the bar to garner more customers and hence make more revenue for their business. Here is the short clip that Julio managed to capture.
Niña, niña marciana, ¿dónde estás? Niña, niña marciana, ¿dónde estás?
At the start of the clip, a wailing sound echoed down the stairwell, and Julio was extremely freaked out by this. It sounded like the source of the sound was in pain and most certainly suffering, but due to his knowledge of the place being haunted, he had no urgency to check on the likely spirit. He slowly went up the stairs in case the girl was real and was cautious of a sudden paranormal surge. And you guessed it, the second he fell for the bait of the poltergeist, a locker moved on its own accord down the stairs. This place was 100% haunted, and it went down as another successful mission from Julio. On December the 1st of 2021, Carlos, a Mexican man who lived with his small family of 3, was home alone whilst his wife and son were out clothes shopping late at night. Carlos was an innocent man, and that is not a far-stretched comment whatsoever. He did not believe in any sort of what he called paranormal rubbish, or any religious things, because he was more of an "I'll believe it if I see it" kind of guy. Carlos used to throw this quote around all the time, and he was given the nickname "See It Carlos" at his workplace, which even he managed to have a chuckle at. Little did anybody know, though, that one day Carlos was going to see it and become a believer for the rest of his life. This is that date.
Hola amigos de TikTok, nada más quería decirles que estaba por empezar live y todo el día se había estado haciendo como una vibra muy mala en la casa. Había tiempo que no pasaban estas cosas desde que puse la cámara. De hecho me voy a atrever ahorita a bajar, aprovechando que los perros están muy ladridos. Hola. Ahí solo está mi queridísima bicha viendo no sé qué donde el árbol. ¡Bicha! ¡Bicha!
Carlos went downstairs into his sitting room to find the cat behaving quite strangely. Usually she rested on her little bed beside the kitchen door, but this time around, she was alert and sitting on the sofa. We all know that there is a theory of cats being able to spot ghosts too. Just to back up the fact that the cat sensed a spiritual presence, one of her toys moved without any visible force acting upon it, and this made it clear to Carlos that he was being haunted. He put the toy into the trash and immediately made a trip to the tip, never encountering any spirits again. It's rare in a haunter video that I include a clip from the same person twice, except space them apart. But this time, I am going to do just that. Clip 2 of this video was taken by a man named Abdul, and as I said, he was a religious man who experienced a demon attempting to haunt him. After that incident, Abdul decided to add new prayers to his routine and ask to be protected from said demons, but despite his efforts, they continued to come. He was becoming really stressed out with it all and was tempted to hire an exorcist to come and help him handle the situation. Here is another clip that Abdul captured from the haunting.
Me llama mucho la atención. Esta silla la había comprado yo en un centro comercial. Realmente no me la traje de ningún lado. Pero me llama mucho la atención porque cuando quiero... Bueno, se ha estado moviendo muy raro. Y... Bueno, por ejemplo... Sia, quiero hablar contigo. Sia, quiero hablar contigo. Eso es lo que me llama la atención. Se me ve como si de verdad no quisiera que yo hablara con ella. Ven aquí, ven otra vez de este lado. Sia. Paso de este lado y es exactamente la misma situación. Sia. No sé qué puedo hacer eso. La silla sigue moviéndose como si nada. Sia, ¿por qué no quieres que hablemos, Sia? Otra vez. No sé por qué sucede eso. Es como si me negara, como si no quisiera.
This time around, the spirit was much more low-key about it. Instead of outright pushing his holy scripture to the ground, Abdul's gaming chair continued to move without anybody on it, and it was clear that no strings were attached. Very creepy. Working as a night shift security guard is a stressful job, regardless of what happens. The eeriness of being alone is enough to break any man into a psychotic state, but when you add the spiritual world into the mix, it becomes a recipe for disaster. The guard who was able to catch our next video on film was working in a children's hospital and hated his job to the maximum. He was always complaining about things, and his family often begged him to quit for his own mental health, but it paid well, so he held out. One night an event happened that tilted him into the idea of quitting, and immediately after he handed in his 2-week notice. Take a look.
Grabado por guardia de seguridad.
He continued to hear knocking from the exact same door all night, and eventually decided that it would be smart to film so that he could show his boss why he was going to quit. Nobody else was in the building with the guard, and his job was a solo one, so it physically could not have been a human that was the root of this dramatic event. Destiny loved making TikToks and put absolutely anything and everything on her page. Unfortunately, none of her videos really hit the spotlight until the one that I am going to show you. It was filmed by her boyfriend and soon-to-be fiancé, who was out of the house doing work. He was a Wi-Fi installation worker for his local broadband company and was sent to households all across his state. Unlike most people in this field, he loved working with electricity and could not have asked for a better job if every single one was made available to him. But of course, every now and then some bad or strange things happen, and this was one of them.
There's nobody in here.
After hearing the first wave of this, the man was deeply frightened and took out his mobile device to see if he could record it for a second time. He was able to, and that was what the video was, which he sent to his girlfriend, who went on to upload it to her socials. Do you think there could have been a natural cause for this? Well, let me know down below. In a recent video on this channel, we looked into the haunted lifestyle of the Midwest ghost hunter, and based on that name alone, you can tell where this is going. This man will go anywhere and everywhere to catch the thrill of seeing a spirit, and the 2 clips that you are about to witness came from an abandoned sanatorium. The time was 2 a.m., and all the way through this trip, he experienced true horrors, but I picked a few out just for you guys. So here is the first.
So right here, I've got a spirit box. I'm going to see if I can get any communication through this. Oh, jeez, before I even get it out, I'm already hearing things. Hello? Who's down there? I'm hearing weird noises down there. Who's down there? State your name. Oh, holy sh**. Those were footsteps. Oh, God. Who's down there? Oh, come on, Ian. Let's go towards them. I'm coming towards you. Whoever or whatever's up here is giving me a creepy vibe.
These noises were very unsettling for the Midwest ghost hunter, because it was clear that the poltergeist behind them wanted him to know of its presence. The footsteps got to him the most because they were swift and quiet, almost as if the spirit was on its tiptoes. This was not all that he managed to hear, though.
It's kind of weird. You can see all the pipes and stuff in there. There's like a window to it too. I've never really seen anything like that. Just trying to check out all the different rooms I haven't gone in yet. Oh, here's another bathroom. Hello? That was me. It's like some showers. Damn, this room is creepy. Oh God, gotta look around this corner. Nothing in there. What about over here? Well, these are some tiny showers. They really didn't give you much space back then, huh? Holy moly. That sounded like a female voice. Hello? Hello? Ma'am? Who's over here? Okay, I know I heard someone down this hallway. Where are you? That woman's voice was so loud I heard it echo. It echoed through this hallway. She seemed nice. At least I hope so. That came from outside. Whoa. What the? Whoa, I just saw something. Something just moved. It was right over here. Something just walked by this. I saw it with my own eyes. Ma'am, are you out here? Thought I'd just seen you. See if I can see her again. Hello? Whoa! I just heard her voice again! It was right over here. Look! There's nothing! There's nothing here!
This time he heard the voice of a female, which confirmed the gender of the spirit to him. Furthermore, he saw some pretty frightening graffiti pieces on the wall, including a satanic symbol which could have insinuated that the place has hosted rituals in the past. The following live stream was streamed to Twitch by one of the biggest streamers on the platform, Cenat. Over a period of about 2 weeks, he had been teasing a collab live stream with the famous rapper NLE Chopper, and when it went live, hundreds upon thousands of people joined. For the majority of the stream, both celebrities were keeping a chill and relaxed vibe, with most of the chat enjoying it. But roughly 20 minutes into the NLE Chopper featured segment, this happened.
Wait. I got a surprise for you, bro. I knew you was coming, gang.
Oh, God. You got a surprise for me?
I got a surprise for you, bro.
Damn, that's how you know we in sync, cuz. We in sync. We know what's up, bro.
All right. Bring the baddies down.
Oh, baddies.
Bring the baddies down.
Ramadan dishes, man.
I'm joking, bro. I got no baddies.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I got no baddies, bro. I got no baddies, chat. Wait, they said there's a clip here that we have to watch. Closet door opened by itself. No, it did not, bro. Stop lying, dude.
You got ghosts?
No, I don't got no ghosts, bro.
This is good.
Closet door is right there.
Oh, God.
I got
a surprise for you. Damn, that's how you know we in sync, cuz. We in sync. We know what's up, bro. Alright. No. Go, what the fuck?
Bro.
Alright. Bring the baddies down.
Yo. No.
What type of shit you got going on? I hope the hell can take a bullet on my ammo. We get no fine in the hole. I ain't gonna lie, girl.
What the
The hell going?
Somehow the closet door moved on its own accord, and whilst trying to stay composed for the audience, it was evident that both NLE and Kai became more nervous. At first they didn't notice it happened, but fortunately the viewers were quick to alert them in chat, and they watched it back a couple of times, not being able to find a logical solution as to why this happened. Now there were quite a few theories that came from this incident, with one of them being that NLE Chopper used to be gang affiliated, so must have bodies, hence the haunting. However, some viewers were not as believing. They accused Kai Cenat of faking the incident to encourage a surge in the chat, but they just looked too unsettled for this to be the case. Let me know what you think in the comments. Now moving on from one of the biggest streamers in history, Cenat, it's time to step down in fame and take a look at a paranormal encounter on a smaller stream. Sir Gary is a low-category streamer who plays games on live as a hobby rather than a job, although he does make a bit of pocket change from it. On one stream, he decided that he was going to play some Pokemon because he had not played it in a long period of time, but the stream was strangely interrupted. This interruption was very disturbing for Gary, who had no idea how to react to the situation, so take a look.
Oh shit, see? Yep, you've been nose passed. You've been nosed. Dude, my foot is... It's always something with me. My foot is killing me right now. Granted, I did drop my phone on it, and my phone... Dude, my foot is... It's always something with me. My foot is killing me right now. Granted, I did drop my phone on it, and my phone... Did anybody else fucking see that? Dude, did anybody else see that? What the fuck was that?
Behind Gary, the door slowly closed, and when he looked at the dash cam for a checkup, he noticed. For some odd reason, nobody in the chat noticed this happen, so he went on to assume he was imagining things. But after watching the footage, it is pretty clear that he was not. Gary was extremely lucky to have caught this incident on camera, because I highly doubt that anyone would have believed his tale otherwise. On May the 22nd of 2016, a stream VOD would be uploaded to YouTube that would go viral and cause all sorts of speculation. The streamer that this VOD belonged to was called Robbie, and he currently sits at just over 1 million YouTube subscribers. Back then he was still just as large and made high-quality streams for the time on his Xbox 360. One stream, however, took the spotlight, and of course, it was one that involved him being haunted.
You guys let me know.
There's like a mix of hatred, like pure hatred against me, that there's love, and then there's just the weird ass comments telling me to fuck.
Yeah, I swear to God, my house is haunted. You guys had to have heard that on stream.
Look at Max Steele's comment.
Hold on, dude. I just heard like knocking, and I'm the only one here, and it wasn't on my door. That shit sounded like it was in the closet behind me. What if that closet
Stop being a. You're not face Carl. Your house is not haunted.
Dude, what if that closet behind me just started opening or some shit? No, I swear to God, Anna, like no joke, like I really did just hear something behind me.
Oh, yeah,
I heard knock. See, Games Pro, he heard that shit, dude.
So go check your closet. Dude, if you like got on stream, that'll be awesome.
No, off.
I mean, that'll be. I mean, like,
At least you have it on camera, right?
But it wasn't like a knock. It was more of like a creaking, but it was a loud creak. Like it was like someone.
Out of the blue, Roddy heard knocking from his closet, and a cold feeling swarmed his body. He was fully aware that something was in the room with him, but due to peer pressure from his friend on party chat, he decided to play it off and act brave. He noted that he was the only person in the house, so this could not have been a person messing around with him, at least not a family member. After making the decision to ignore whatever caused these knocking sounds, Robbie went back to the Xbox home screen and kept talking to his friend because it made him feel more comfortable. Little did he know that this was only the beginning though, and just moments later, the upcoming clip occurred.
Oh no, real shit. I was in here recording and that YouTube plaque fell randomly, dude. Like and that thing's on there pretty good. And then my mirror in my bathroom fell. Like a bunch of shit is just randomly just falling over. My camera stand, 3 legs like this, and my camera stand falls. Out of here.
So you're the reason why people pick on me so much, dude.
I guess, yeah. Dude, stop. Did you hear that, Anon?
Yeah, it was like a thump, right?
Bruh.
I thought that was you.
I got goosebumps.
Dude, I heard that thump.
Bruh.
Dude, I'm gonna get off the Skype call, I'm sorry.
No, bro, stop.
Dude, I can't. This shit is freaking me out. Okay, maybe it's nothing. Maybe we're just thinking about it way too much. Like,
maybe,
and we're just
maybe I'm just...
We're just focusing on all the little things that we usually don't.
That was loud. That was loud.
Maybe.
Bro,
maybe it's your microwave.
My room. Like I wish someone was here, dude. That's weird, dude. All right, I think I'm gonna go check on my dog though. Oh shit! No. Why is the Skype call messing up?
Robbie,
Why
are you
is
there?
the Skype call messing up?
Robbie, oh my god!
Bro, right when I said I'm gonna go out there and check on my dog, right when I said that, my Skype call was like, stop giving me goosebumps.
Robbie, let your dog die. Just stay with me, okay?
No! Why isn't my Xbox turning on now, dude? This shit's weird. Bro, I swear to God, if I hear one more freaky ass... Bro, stop!
Hello?
Stop!
Dude, what the is happening?
I said, I swear to God, if one more creepy thing happened, I was about to say I was gonna leave the house.
Dude. All my lights went out.
Alright, I gotta give an introduction to the film just because I have to upload this, so... Alright, guys. Oh my God!
What?
I literally just started filming. Did you hear that?
Dude, what the fuck is happening?
Did you just hear that? Fuck my dog, he's in my room. Alright. I go out there, and I hear something by the washing machine, and I think it's just you there, Anon? Bro, stop, because I just came in here because I heard a f***ing bang on the wall. Someone said it's the Babadook. Have you ever watched that movie, Anon?
This time around, a thump could be heard, but this was not the only thing that added to Robbie and his pals' discomfort levels. Coincidentally, at the same time, the Xbox started being buggy, and furthermore, when Robbie suggested leaving the room, the Skype call disconnected for a split second. All of these things added together made for a spooky haunting, and even Robbie's friend was starting to become convinced this was not a safe situation. Knowing that he needed to keep the stream running to earn a good amount of money, Robbie continuously tried to restart his Xbox and hoped that it was just an electrical issue, but it was proved to be far from that. You see, in the other few clips of this situation, things could very easily be dismissed for a natural cause, but what you are about to see cannot.
Tonight is not my f***ing night. Babadook, stop, dude! I hate the Babadook, man. That f***ing creepy ass movie, bro. Oh my God! Bruh. Everything just fell. my camera stand, my f***ing mic. What the? Hold on, guys, hold on. I don't even know how to fucking... Hold on. What the f... My fucking stand, dude. My fucking camera stand. Again. Bro, I'm putting this on the floor. I'm putting this shit on the floor.
Robbie's entire setup collapsed, and he was in clear sight, so obviously didn't interfere. It acted as a horrible jump scare for both Robbie and his audience, who simply expected to watch a stream of a humorous man playing action-packed games. Whilst this WOD was terrifying for Robbie, he would have made a lot of money from it, so he can't be too angry at the spirit. Going back to a streamer that we have already discussed in this video, we have Cenat, and he does not fail to gain entertaining clips. This one was also, of course, a paranormal surge, but in a different setting. Kai was streaming to roughly 100,000 people, and it was one of those chilled-out streams where he would just talk to chat and not do much else. Throughout the stream, he started to get more and more conscious that someone or something was in the house with him, and at one point it clearly decided to make its presence known.
No. Oh. Hey, if you kill me, 100,000 is watching. Come out like dead ass. I got a big ass gun, bro. It's mad people watching, bro. Just come out, bro. Do something.
Kai clearly did not think that this was a spirit, as he used threats with his weapon, but after he went to loom around the door and saw nobody there, he had second thoughts. Furthermore, the fact that the cross fell made a lot of sense if there was an evil entity in the room, so it is safe to assume that there was. At this point, you would expect Cenat to contact someone for advice on how to deal with being tormented by poltergeists, but he just doesn't seem to learn. That is right, I have another paranormal video of Kai lined up, but before I get into it, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss other haunter videos like this one. This stream was more of a regular stream, and he was seemingly building things with his guest. The guest was a child, so it made sense that they were doing something more on the fun side of things. Little did any of them know that things were going to spiral elsewhere, though. The doors literally opened themselves in front of both their eyes, and they had no idea how to react. It was obvious that no external force had acted upon the doors, making this scenario very freaky indeed. The following video is a snippet from one of the most haunting streams in history, and there is a very big reason as to why it gets this title. Most streams with ghostly appearances have one big event, and then the ghost disappears, never to be caught in the act again. This one, on the other hand, happened all stream. The streamer managed to obtain 5 minutes of pure paranormal footage, which is absurd, so enjoy this snippet.
Like how much? It's not like we needed. Guys, it's not like we needed any sleep or anything.
Oh my god,
Yes.
Yes.
What the heck?
Did you guys see that? I like how we're back to playing Skyrim, like, alright.
I'm not gonna fucking...
It's like...
I'm fuck it, you know. Just gonna focus on the raid, man. Do you feel
all
cold?
my viewers...
I'm shivering a lot. Does that count for anything?
Fucking... I think we're all shivering a little bit.
We kind of are, yeah. No, God, not again.
Dishonored trailer. I don't give a shit about Dishonored 2 right now.
It just did it again.
Oh. There's Elvis running in the fucking corner again. Are you fucking done? Are you fucking done?
Is he punching the door?
I hope to God he is.
I think he
We're
just
about to
ticked
find out in a
off
few
him.
seconds.
No, okay.
What the I guess one last final look at the apartment. Like, hey, what's up? I just want to let everyone know that I'm alright, I guess. So, oh, cool. Alright. Oh.
Out of nowhere, the box went from moving slowly and being barely noticeable to flying across the room. Furthermore, the door also closed and seemed to have a mind of its own. The streamer somehow ignored the situation and plowed through, but it is safe to say that this was not one of his best nights. Brian was a man from Belgium who, before all of the following drama, had no belief or faith towards paranormal activity actually being real. However, like most victims end up doing, he quickly changed his mind. Over the last few days, he has constantly been noticing his window opening and closing by itself, which has reasonably put him on edge. One day, he decided to see if he could capture the phenomenon live, and whilst he failed to do so, he caught something new happening.
There are some weird noises coming from my window. The last few days my windows open by itself. I don't know what's the problem, so... Oh my god. My god. Oh my god, what the fuck? What the fuck? Oh shit.
One of the books from the bookshelf slowly moved itself off the shelf until it eventually collapsed to the ground in an almighty thump. Brian was fortunate enough to have caught this on camera, or else nobody would have taken his word for it. I will be surprised if he does not begin the ghost hunting process within a week. One important thing that everybody needs to take into account when their house is under a haunting is to only try to expel the spirit if you are a professional. Attempting to deter a ghost from your house and being underqualified could result in angering the ghost and causing it to become even more of a problem. And this was the case for the male in our next clip, Wire. Over a period of 2 months, Wire and his family had been victims of a haunting, and eventually he decided that he had had enough with the spirit. He was not going to allow it to torment him and his family for any longer, so took it upon himself to banish the poltergeist from the house, and this was what happened.
Oh my god, you guys. So freaking... I just woke up, and there's freaking noises going on. Dude, guys, that is really fucking creepy. If there's any spirits in here and you want to communicate with me, I hope you know that you are not allowed in my house. No spirits are allowed in my house.
Immediately after commanding the ghost to leave, the paranormal activity rates spiked, and all kinds of items were launched to the ground. Things get worse when you realize that this was only the spirit's immediate reaction. After this short spike, Wire and his family would notice much higher activity rates than usual in the coming days, meaning that all he had done was frustrate it and cause it to have some sort of outburst. You should learn from Weir's mistakes and always call a ghost hunter or your local church for assistance in these scenarios, rather than take the task up for yourself. On February 26th of 2021, a French man by the name of Antoine was home alone. This was because his wife was working whilst he was left home to take care of their dog. When this happened, things usually went smoothly, as he would casually sit back and enjoy television for the rest of the day. Little did he know that this time around things would not be nearly as relaxed as they should have been. 10 minutes into being home alone, the clip that you are about to see took place, and Antoine claimed that it kept him from staying in the house with his own company for a long time.
Il se passe encore des choses. Putain. Attends, il y avait encore ce truc qui s'allumait. Putain, j'en ai marre. Y'a quelqu'un ici? Oh putain! Qui est là?
First of all, some noises started playing as if somebody else was in the house, and when Antoine went to investigate the scene to find the source, nothing was found. Something did happen though. The supposed spirit pushed the chair to the ground in a sudden shove, and Antoine knew that something was up, but he put it off. Just 2 days later, this would prove to have been the wrong decision though, because on February 28th of 2021, this happened.
Donc bonsoir à tous. Toujours ces phénomènes. Ça se concentre dans la cuisine apparemment, donc je vais essayer de garder mon calme et essayer de communiquer avec l'entité ou je ne sais quoi qui s'y trouve. Il n'y a pas de trucage, hein. Je préfère vous le dire parce qu'il y a beaucoup de sceptiques dans les commentaires. Donc bonsoir, est-ce qu'il y a quelqu'un ici? Ok. Merci. Est-ce que vous voulez vous montrer ou parler, s'il vous plaît? Ok. Je sais pas si faudrait parler ce genre d'esprit. Merci en tout cas.
This time, both Antoine and his wife were home, but she was taking a shower. It was while she was doing this regular day-by-day activity that the spirit took its opportunity to strike her husband once again. All kinds of things happened in the kitchen, and once she exited the shower, he showcased the video evidence to her. They are now in the process of banishing the poltergeist, and we advise you to all wish them luck in the comments. Many people argue that fire or the wheel were mankind's most crucial inventions to our development, and whilst this might be true, people need to highlight some more modern inventions. For example, the camera. Cameras are everywhere nowadays and have a wide array of uses from preventing crime all the way to catching poltergeists in the act, and the very short clip that we are about to watch showcases the latter. In this spine-chilling camera shot, one of the most inexplicable and spooky apparitions happen right in front of a camera, and it is very hard to write this off as anything but a paranormal instance. As you could clearly see, some sort of strange and mysterious head poked around the window of the door, and if you look very closely, it is safe to say it was uncanny. Furthermore, that conference room was completely empty, and that was a guarantee, so no humans were in there. This meant that it was most certainly an apparition, and most employees tend to feel uncomfortable in this office since that moment. However, some of them did not believe the tale, and were even confused as to which room the event occurred in. It was because of this that the employee who set up the camera was forced into the conference room to explain the tale in another video format. Surprisingly for her, though, things did not go as smoothly as she thought they would have.
Okay, so I'm doing the trash. This is the same room that had that face right here. And I was cleaning this bathroom, and I had my phone on this cart. Right? I just heard.
This looked like a normal room, and nothing like it was the aftermath of a haunting apparition. Despite its deceiving looks, though, it definitely packed a scare. The woman heard the word "hello" whispered down her ear and could not take it any longer. After freezing out of terror for a brief moment, she ended the recording and fled the room, never to enter it again with her manager's approval. This is Javier, and Javier lived in a really small room for quite some time, and whilst we don't know the real reason for this, we can predict some reasons why. The main prediction is that since he moved out with his parents, he could not afford a good lifestyle, so outright purchased this place as a placeholder. But who knows? What we do know, though, is that the place is most certainly haunted, and the clip, which is about to be showcased, turns that supposed theory into fact.
Son las 4:17 de la mañana. Están golpeando de nuevo la puerta, la caseta. Que escuchen ustedes de nuevo para que vean que esto no es un juego. Que ahí siempre golpean 10 o 5 minutos y después se detienen. Conche tu madre, se acaba de mover el vaso, se acaba de mover ese lapicero, acaba de hacer un movimiento hacia allá. Bueno, y ahora acaba de escuchar que golpearon atrás mío. Bueno, hay que mantener la calma. Si te pasa algo de esto alguna vez, hay que mantener la calma. Salí acá afuera y miren cómo está. Dieron vuelta a la barrera. No sé qué mierda pasó. Escucho un golpe. Escucho ustedes mismos. Ahí estamos, vamos. Vamos a hacer una moto ahí. Bueno, está la ploa ahí, botada ahí. Pero nada más, no sé qué hace los ruidos. No he querido exponerme mucho a este tipo de energías. De hecho, casi no salía ni siquiera al baño acá. Bueno, chicos, se alcanza a ver bien. Temprano un choque fuertísimo. Vengo a ver acá cómo quedó, fíjense. Por esa parte donde está la barrera ahí, pasó un camión a otro lado, no sé si era un fallecido. Pasar algún par de veces una sombra negra, no sé si era hombre o mujer, humano o no humano, pero esto va a ser una sombra negra. Así que bueno, voy a hacer una ronda rápida aquí y voy a sacar unas fotos por aquí a ver si veo algo raro. Alcancé a ver algo, la primera foto se ve como una mancha, en la segunda ya se ve un poco más claro, no sé qué es, pero se ve como una forma rara. No está corriendo nada de viento y se acaba de dar vuelta esta barrera sola. No anda nadie más. Se estaba ahí y saltó acá.
First of all, the small pot of what seemed to be crayons moved by itself, which, as you should be aware of, is not a scenario which should be happening. Furthermore, there was a repetitive knock outside of the room at the exact same time, and when Javier turned around to hopefully see a visitor, he saw nobody. Instead of following the logical solution of calling for assistance and leaving the place, Javier did the unexpected and ventured outside his room in the middle of the night, whilst almost nobody would be passing by in case of emergency. Did this turn out to be as silly of an idea as it was on paper? Well, I will let you answer that one for yourself.
Escucha claramente adentro el sonido, el ladrido. Como pueden ver, aquí no hay nadie. El refri, no hay nada dentro del cubo. Miren, salgo de la cocina, cierro la puerta. Escuchen. Y no hay nada, puta madre, nada.
Whenever Javier left the room, he heard banging coming from inside, and whenever he went inside, it came to a halt. It was evident that nothing else was in the room, so this should have been impossible. But when ghosts come into play, nothing is impossible. As well as this, there is a slight crack in the door as he leaves it open, and what looks like an apparition could be seen hiding within it. This was very spooky to say the least, but not spooky enough to force him out of his property. You see, right next to his room was the place where he made all his money, operating a barrier, which I assume defends some form of border. It was while he was on duty in this system that the next strange event took place.
Limpiar la caseta es bastante común. Puede haber sido cualquier persona, al que va pasando o qué sé yo. Están golpeando. No esperé nada, 20 minutos. Acaba de caer una niebla, voy a hacer una ronda. Ahora logro 3 de la mañana y se ve como una silueta de un hombre parada allá. Está muy lejos, por eso no se ve tan bien. Voy a dar todo el zoom para que vean ahí. Ya no logro ver al hombre, pero la niebla probablemente lo esté tapando. Bueno, no se movió nada.
This time the banging happened there instead, and some sort of figure could be seen across the road. Hopefully this was just a human standing by and wondering what to do with themselves, but something in the back of my mind tells me that only a spirit would be psycho enough to stand there doing nothing like that. The following video was captured by Clayton, a hyper-obsessed gym member and a gamer who let nothing get in front of him and these hobbies. Now Clayton was actually in the last video on this channel, where he was doing something as simple as some workouts when all of a sudden a spirit began to mess with him. It created noises all around the house and lured him everywhere, finally taking him back to his workout location, and this is when the pin on the machine collapsed to the ground. He decided to be the bigger person and ignore this situation, but the very next day, something happened again. This time he was gaming all night and wanted to get his mind away from the potential of a ghost. The ghost could not help but remind him though, and started opening and closing his door, causing even more fear to be instilled within Clayton. After all of this, he decided to move house, but the process would take a full week, and the video that I am about to show to you took place 3 days into these 7.
I was literally just on the phone talking to my family about this.
Clayton heard knocking again, which was a common occurrence that came with this spirit, and it was followed by the same door as last time, opening and closing. This freaked him out, and in order to gain more proof of the poltergeist's existence, he approached the spirit with nothing but caution. Nobody was anywhere near the door, making this clip very believable. After this, Clayton made the decision to just tank it out and ignore the ghost for the final 4 nights. But unfortunately, it had opposite ideas. It caused so much havoc one night that Clayton was forced to record it, and what he got on camera was mesmerizing. This time around, the spirit was wreaking its havoc across the entire house and had Clayton chasing it around at 2 a.m. He was so ridiculously frightened that he didn't even talk in fear that it might annoy whatever was tormenting him and cause it to up its antics. This was a tough time for Clayton, and we are all very fortunate that we are not in a similar situation. On March the 31st of 2018, Bilal, a man who lived in Spain, decided to visit and document an old house in Spain that was supposed to be haunted. He thought that this would be an interesting idea, due to him having no faith or belief in spirits or anything of the sort, so it would have been great to enlighten him otherwise. He went into this paranormal hellhole expecting nothing more than some creaks that were caused by animals, but what he really got was terrifying, and certainly opened his mind up to a world of poltergeists.
Esta casa la acabamos de comprar hace poco, rayada, y tratamos. Cuando yo me vine del hospital, me dijeron que, ¿cómo se llama? Que estuve a punto de morir. Afortunadamente, Dios nos ayudó, no hay nadie. Pero yo siento, sueño y veo cosas, se caen cosas, donde yo dicen que me traje algo. Aquí es una actividades diferentes. Aquí algunas cosas se han movido y tratamos de captar lo más que se pueda. Lo más que se pueda en cuestionamientos de las cosas que se mueven. Tratando de... Miren, ahí está el primero. Ahí está el primero y eso es lo que me da... Eso es lo que me da miedo. No sé lo que pasa. Tratando de... Este monito se lo dieron a mi esposa en el hospital. No sé si agarrarlo o no, la verdad me da un poco de cosa. Ese mono se nos ha caído ya varias veces, hasta en la noche. No sé si realmente deba de agarrarlo o no, pero tratando. Ese mono, algunas cajas que tenemos aquí se nos han caído. Mi conejito, no sé si sea perspectivo, él capta a veces las cosas, se queda viendo lugares que no entiendo por qué, ¿verdad? Entonces vamos a tratar de captar varias cosas para ver si alguien nos puede ayudar. Alguien nos puede ayudar. Aquí no tratamos de engañar a nadie, solamente algunos cuadros que han estado derechos amanecen chuecos, como pueden ver, pero quiero captar lo más que se pueda. Vuelvo, es una vista panorámica para que vean que no hay nada, no hay nadie más que mi conejo me acompaña, tratando de captar. No me quiero quedar a oscuras. Mi familia sigue dormida y tengo miedo de comentarle a mis hijos porque están chiquitos, tienen miedo. Quiero captar lo más que se pueda. En este cuarto, como les comento, es donde hay más actividad. Aquí quiero captar algo. No sé qué pase, que se pueda realizar. Es el juego de los salón, bueno, es el cuarto de los niños, pero de hecho tratamos de captar lo más que se pueda mover. Pero al final, ahí está el primero. Ahí está el primero. No sé qué está pasando. Dios. Tratando de ver lo más que se pueda. Lo más que se pueda captar. Como les digo, es el cuarto de los muchachos. Y tengo miedo de que ellos, Dios, tratando de hacer lo más que se pueda. Se empezó a mover muy leve. No sé qué pasa realmente. Como pueden ver, aquí no hay nadie. No hay nadie, absolutamente nadie. Trato. Vean. Y vista panorámica, donde no hay nadie. No sé qué pasa. A veces estoy solo y se mueven cosas muy fuertes, muy rápidas. Voy a tratar, si pueden ver, absolutamente nadie. Panorámica. Ahí se movió el patín ya. Ahí está. Ahí está. Dios. Ahí se acaba de caer.
Things started off with the doll collapsing to the ground, and Bilal saw this and thought that maybe it was caused by his movement. As I said, he was a non-believer. After the scooter started to move and the fan collapsed, though he stepped outside the room and took a moment to consider the situation that he was in before drawing the only logical conclusion. This place was in fact haunted, and he was in fact leaving. When it gets late at night, there tends to be nobody around, and this can cause an eerie and terrifying atmosphere. This is why most people won't go to dodgy locations at such times, but due to some peer pressure, Francesco thought otherwise. He stayed out with his friends until way past midnight, and eventually, when they decided to walk 3 minutes home, he had to go back to his motorcycle in the parking lot. Once he arrived at the parking complex, he noticed a shopping trolley move, so took out his camera to see if he could get anything strange on record. This is what he found.
Minha gente, aquele carro ali, ele mexeu. Eu parei com a moto aqui agora. Eu tô ficando doido. Ó, e o outro lá mexeu. Esse carro aqui. Tem alguma coisa aqui. Quem é que tá aí? Você mexeu o carro, mexa agora. Vê que esse carrinho que tá aí. Olha. Olha. Vixe. Meu Deus do céu. Vocês viram? Passou por ali. A moto deu partida. Olha. Sozinha. Meu Deus.
First of all, the shopping cart moved again, and it was obvious that no force could have acted upon it. Furthermore, there would have been little to no wind down there, making for a silly excuse being off the cards. This was not the scariest thing that happened, though. Francesco turned around to check that his motorcycle was doing okay, but little did he know that it would have a life of its own. He quickly ended the recording and got onto his motorcycle, and it took him home normally. This was strange nonetheless. Hot Dogs Gaming is a YouTube channel that has never uploaded any paranormal content, so when he eventually did, people were quick to believe him. He had notified his followers that he would be attending a large birthday party to commemorate his cousin's 18th. The party was great according to all attendees, and had many unique features for an 18th, such as a laser tag section and a go-karting track. There was one thing that this party had that absolutely no other did though. That thing was a spirit. Have a look.
Anong nangyayari? Guys, tingnan nyo. What the fuck? Damn. Wala akong ginagalaw. Oh, damn. Creepy. Oh, yun. What the fuck? Shucks. Kung nandyan guys sa panga. Oh, what the fuck?
This one video from the part captured a spirit toying with what seemed to be a water bottle, and it went viral. Everybody at the party wanted to watch the video, and the person who caught it managed to become the most popular person there when the word came out. There was nothing surrounding the bottle, so it was odd that this happened, especially considering nothing else did on that night. Having children ends up being the most joyful point of most people's lives, and it is understandable as to why. These little humans bring happiness and pride to their parents, and give them another element of happiness that they never knew they needed to unlock. Enough of the positivity though, because this is a haunter video. A lot of children tend to develop something called an imaginary friend, where they pretend they know somebody who is invisible. Parents are often creeped out by this because the children paint them to be these uncanny-looking demons, and this was the case for the child in the following video. He had a paranormal friend called Edward, and his parents believed it was just a phase until this was recorded.
This dude's actually just sat like he's talking to someone, but his brother's downstairs. And me. Who are you talking to?
Edward.
Who's Edward?
Is that there?
Nope. Nope, nope, nope.
Edward supposedly launched something across the room from the front of the child, and the father quickly left. He explained to his wife what had happened, and they both decided it was best to call it a coincidence, and that Edward was most definitely imaginary. Do you think that they handled the situation well? Let me know in the comment section down below, and subscribe whilst you are at it. The following video was recorded by Kylie, a recently divorced widow who lost the love for her husband a long time ago. Over the past 2 weeks, she had constantly been hearing knocking from the bathroom door at random moments, and every single time she went to investigate, nothing would be there. She was growing suspicious of the whole situation and told herself that next time it happened, she would 100% catch the spirit in the act on camera, and she stuck to that promise, as you are going to see. Have a watch.
Okay, so I'm at home right now and I'm in my room editing videos, and I'm literally home by myself, and I keep hearing like this knocking noise coming from our master bathroom, and I'm like literally shaking, and I've been hearing it like for the past few Hey guys, I can't believe I got this on camera. No, nothing's here, look. The window's closed. I keep thinking like maybe it's the window.
She opened the door, and as she claimed, nobody or nothing was on the other side. Her comments and her all theorized that whatever was doing it to her window, but that just would not line up, because who would spend their time bashing a bathroom window and doing nothing else? To be honest, the whole situation was odd. Marco was staying in an Airbnb whilst he was in the process of moving house. He was moving due to paranormal circumstances, where he would constantly hear weird noises around the household without even having anybody over. He was relieved to be away from the house and finally felt a sense of warmth and security, but little did he know that the spirit followed him.
Ahí están los quejidos que les dijimos el otro día, raza. Ya van varios días que escuchamos esos quejidos, ¿verdad? Ahorita es de mañana, pero se han escuchado de madrugada. A ver si vuelven a escuchar. Están los perros. ¿Qué creen que sea?
The noises continued, and at this point, he wasn't even frustrated. He was just fed up and disappointed with life. The spirit was clearly attached to him rather than the home, and there was nothing he could do about it. So contently, he just decided to keep it around. The occasional noise couldn't be the end of the world. The following video was recorded inside the house of Sajid, a married man with no children. He and his wife had been out of the house for a good few hours doing some well-needed shopping, but they had no idea what was waiting for them at home. They expected to walk into their house and finally have some relaxation, but relaxation is a spirit's least favorite word, and this clip shows that. After walking into the house, Sajid and his wife heard a loud bang that came from the kitchen, and it sounded as if a metal pipe had collapsed to the ground. Now, of course, things falling is pretty normal, but when he and his wife looked inside the kitchen, it was an absolute state, and at first, they thought an animal was in the house. To their dismay, this was not the case, and they found this out when the cabinet doors slammed closed. Truly, a horrifying experience for the couple. Messing around in an abandoned place of religion is not a smart idea whatsoever, but the man in the next clip of this video seemingly didn't have a care in the world. He was called Mario, and the day before this clip, he thought that it would be a fun idea to explore an abandoned Catholic church. Surprisingly, whilst he was at the church, nothing spooky happened, and Mario was starting to become pretty convinced that the paranormal world was not real. He called his church trip quits and went back to his house, but the very next night, the poltergeists of the church came to prove him wrong.
Footsteps, so like scratches on my door, and like we trying to figure out what it is, but hold on, you hear that? Hold on, wait a minute, hold on. Shine over there, baby. Shine over there. It's like, oh my God, something is, I don't know if you guys could hear that, but there's like paranormal activity. Oh shit, baby. Oh my God, baby. Come on, stop, baby. Baby, stop. Oh shit, Jesus Christ. What is that? Oh, baby. Baby, what is that? Oh God, baby. Come on, we gotta stop this.
Before the clip began, Mario and his wife could hear scratching noises from their bedroom door, and this frightened them because when they opened the door expecting to see an animal, nothing was on the other side. He started filming, and this is when he managed to capture 3 items falling to the ground without any sort of forceful interaction, which completely defies physics. This was most certainly the act of a spirit. On December the 16th of 2023, a Spanish security guard was working her night shift. Unlike most employees across the world, this worker loved the night shift because as a security guard, she rarely ever had to face any issues. All she did was sit around in an office on her phone whilst she got paid. On the rare occasion that something did happen, it would just be a few teenagers doing teenager stuff, such as graffiti or breaking into the hospital. What happened on this fateful night was much different though. No amount of training could have prepared any security guard for what this poor one was about to go through. Have a watch.
Esto lo voy a dejar registrado porque son 16 de diciembre, 11 de la noche. Bueno, mira, esta wea está pasando hace mucho rato y yo acá estoy sola, weón. No hay nadie.
The wheelchair slowly began to move, and towards the end of the clip, it jolted forwards towards the office of the security guard. This gave her the chills for obvious reasons, because for all she knew, whatever was controlling that wheelchair was looking at her, and she had no idea. The chances are that it was an ex-patient at the hospital who had unfortunately passed away and roamed its walls out of pure anger. Any time awake past 1 a.m. can feel like the most eerie and mysterious of times. The fact that barely anybody else in your city, let alone your street, is awake can spook anybody out. But there is one other thing that this time period is known for. When it gets really late into the night, it is known that all sorts of spirits come out to roam the streets and cause havoc. The reason for this is unknown, but there are countless videos on the internet to prove it, including this one. The time is 1 a.m. and 2 friends are having a sleepover when they realize that Will's apartment must be haunted.
Alright guys, it's about 1 o'clock. This has been happening every night. About this time we hear a noise. Not really sure what it is, but it's starting to freak us out. See if we can maybe get it on film. You hear that?
What is that?
Oh, that was a noise.
I'll look over here. I don't hear it anymore. James' closet. I think it stopped. Oh my god!
They both heard noises which led them to a part of the apartment, and when they reached this area, the sounds stopped. It was clear that something was attempting to lure them to that location, so it was just a matter of why. But this question was not going to be left hanging in the air for much longer. A ton of items collapsed to the ground on camera, and Will and his friend were extremely scared. They both ran to their beds and slept under the covers all night, never wanting to experience anything like this ever again. Donna Ayres is the woman who captured this next clip that you are going to see shortly, and she has appeared on countless haunter videos. Now, whenever someone who frequently appears on the channel comes up again, I tend to give a brief summary of their story to you, but Donna's is extraordinarily simple. She has no idea why she is being haunted, but she has uploaded several videos to YouTube showing her tough life. This video here is no different, so take a look.
Just done Ouija board guide, and my guitar started singing, so I just thought I'd capture it. There you go, I don't know if you can hear it, but... it's singing. And before you say there's no one behind there. Look. I don't know if you can hear it, guys, but my guitar's playing. So does someone want to explain how this is possible then? Bit strange if you ask me, mate. And there's something here, I can feel it. I can feel it. Is that it? There you go, another one.
Somehow the guitar plays on its own accord for about a minute before finally coming to a halt. Furthermore, Donna claimed that she felt the presence of a spirit beyond the strange guitar solo, and could almost sense the chills. Donna will more than likely post more paranormal encounters to her channel, so make sure to subscribe to me because I will always further document them here. The following video was captured by James, who had gone through a pretty rough last few months to say the least. From his breakup with his girlfriend to his father unfortunately passing away, it seemed like the world was slowly turning against him. This rough patch sadly led James to being dependent on alcoholic beverages, with his favorite drink being vodka. He almost always had a bottle of the drink with him, as well as a shot glass, and this was no different in the video that you are about to see. But as well as this, something very mysterious happened.
I took a shot. Do you guys see that? I took a shot.
Above, below, around.
all the around. I stopped drinking for a little bit because a knife flipped out of a thing.
Strangely, the vodka glass moved without any human interaction, and James made sure to show us that no strings were attached or anything else that could have interfered. At first, James did not believe that what he was seeing was real because he was in a drunk state of mind. But after checking the footage back, he realized that this was far more than a drunk fantasy. We all know that dogs are known to protect their family from all sorts of dangers and are fearless when it comes to making sure nobody comes close to their household. This is amazing and is a reason for many people owning these animals. But in the upcoming video, there is something off about the dog. Some important information before watching the clip is that the dog is called Meggie and she is not a barker whatsoever. Her owners go as far as to say she would not hurt a fly, which made this interaction off-putting to say the least.
Literally, I don't even know what to do anymore. My dog has been barking late at night. As you can see, there's nothing there. And I'm scared.
As you can see, nothing was there, and the owner even decided to check the Ring doorbell camera to see if anything or anyone was outside that the dog could sense. There was no one. Eventually, Meggie stopped her barking and went back to her normal state, but I can't help but assume that this was a poltergeist that she was having a go at. Josh Robillard was a regular person in a regular house, but when it comes to the paranormal world, even the most normal of people can become the victims. The closest Josh was to believing in spirits was his religion, Christianity, but he still doubted that people with an afterlife could just roam the earth with free will. It was late at night, and Josh was doing some work on his laptop when he heard some sounds coming from downstairs. As he should have, Josh went to investigate the sounds, but little did he know that this was not a squatter, not a rodent. It was something far worse.
Okay, I definitely heard something down here. Bang or something.
From the swinging chandelier to the doll moving by itself, everything about this video was off-putting, but the worst part was that the cross was flipped upside down. This is a sign that whatever entity was doing this was on the side of the devil, which obviously adds much more stakes to the whole scenario. If this was a one-time thing, then Josh decided that he would leave it in the past and make sure to only mention it in prayers to God. But unfortunately, a similar event happened the next day.
Okay, I am completely alone right now. And I just started hearing noise coming from upstairs, so I'm gonna go check it out. I'm so tired of this. So tired of this. Fuck in the heck. What was that? Oh my goodness, this was not like this before. It's not like this at all. Good grief. And the cross is upside down. Oh my goodness.
After this, he called a ghost hunter to come and resolve the problem, and we received no updates after this. All that we can do is hope Josh is fine, because nobody deserves to go through something of such magnitude. A name that we have not heard on this channel in quite a long period of time is Mykolenko, and he is a ghost hunter from Ukraine. In case you have no idea what a ghost hunter is, it is pretty self-explanatory. They are hired for huge price sums to hunt down and sometimes exterminate spirits that haunt the homes of people. And the video that I am about to show you was from a job Mykolenko had been hired to carry out. Usually, he would highball for extremely unfair prices, but due to the family he was assisting in this video being fairly poor and knowing a friend of his, he carried out the task for a highly slashed price. Here are some of the worst things that he caught. For some inexplicable reason, the bedsheets slowly creeped further and further away from their default position, and as if this was not creepy enough, it was followed up by loud footsteps in the hallway. Mykolenko carried out all of his ghost hunts solo, due to him not wanting to split the revenue with others, so this could not have been the sounds of a crewmate. After hearing these footsteps, Mykolenko took it upon himself to go towards the noise, so that he could gather more intel on the ghost that he was trying to counter, and then this happened. This act was clearly an attempt from the spirit to show Mykolenko that it was not fearful of him, because it sprinted right next to him.
Здесь. Вот здесь, неподалеку.
After the sprinting, Mykolenko chose to reside in the bedroom of the house for a few moments to regain his bravery. Whilst he was in this room, a ghostly presence could still be sensed by him, and the footsteps refused to stop. Something was up with this house, and all we can do is hope that Mykolenko was good enough to put it to an end. There is nothing that a human loves more than their family, and a core part of this for most of people is their dog. Dogs have been man's best friend since we first started hunting, and as a reward, we keep them as pets nowadays. We know that these pets have different eye patterns to us humans, which allows them to detect light frequencies that we cannot see. It is because of this that people tend to theorize that dogs can see poltergeists. After the video that you are about to know, we will know one theory for certain though. Dogs can definitely get haunted.
Where's your boy? What's up? Whoa! Whoa.
It was evident that the ghost was trying to attack the poor dog here with some form of speaker off the shelf. This freaked out the owner of the house to a degree that he let the dog stay in his bed with him that night, and he was usually strongly against that idea due to dirty sheets. Have you ever heard of the term Netflix and chill? Well, this was what was going on with the host of the YouTube channel Llama Paranormal, except his Netflix and chill was not insinuating the kind of chill that lets you relax. His session delivered real chills to him. The time was 11 p.m. in the evening, and this man had been binging a Netflix show before bed. He was roughly 4 episodes deep into the session, and he vowed that this would be his last one. But after what happened, he was about to stay awake for a lot longer anyways.
Right, keep hearing noises. Don't know if you can hear it, but absolutely shit, this is every single night nearly now. Just weird things, but I only capture minor stuff. What the fuck, man? Oh my fucking god. Oh, see what I mean? See what I mean? Oh my god, what the fuck? Oh my fucking god, mate.
All around the house, all kinds of paranormal events were happening, from flying minion plushies to strange sounds echoing any man would have quivered in the boots of this one. After the event, he really struggled to get some sleep and claimed to constantly have the feeling that he was being watched. It is theorized that he never explained the situation to the people around him in fear that they would call him crazy, but with this evidential piece of footage, it is likely that he may go through with it. The following video was captured by a man called Manuel, but he was not the only man present on scene. Him and his friend both operated as security guards at their local school and made sure nothing happened during the night. Now you are likely wondering what sort of school has nighttime security, aren't you? Well, several items had gone missing from this school over the past month, and the council finally agreed to give them a helping hand. The time was 2 a.m., which is extremely late, and Manuel and his colleague were chilling as they usually did when the upcoming clip happened.
Che, boludo, ¿escuchaste eso? ¿Lo Shh, ¿escuchaste eso, boludo?
¿Qué?
Allá en el aula hay como un ruido, boludo. Pero vamos, porque padre dijo que filmemos, boludo. Si no vamos después, padre, si Servir nos va a sacar el cuero, boludo. Vamos a ver qué onda un toque. Vamos un toque, boludo, dale.
¿Qué onda, boludo? ¿Hace un frío acá afuera?
Sí, boludo, hace un refrío. Pero acá parece que hace más frío, porque dice cuando hace frío que es por algo, digamos.
¿Dónde escuchas, boludo? Acá hay ruido en toda la escuela.
Pero sí, boludo, ¿no escuchaste? ¿Ves escuchar? ¿Escuchás, boludo? ¿No escuchás?
Nada, boludo. Ah, pensé que... Ah, hay como una cortina ahí.
Sí.
¿Dónde escuchaste, boludo?
Sí, boludo, para mí que por allá, o ahí, no sé. Mira, ve.
¿Dónde, boludo?
Por acá era. No, boludo, ¿viste eso? Ah, boludo. Aguantá, boludo, aguantá.
Out of the blue, a huge surge in paranormal activity happened, and it sent Manuel and his colleague into absolute shambles. They strolled around the facility attempting to gather as much evidence of the event as humanly possible, and it is safe to say they got enough. What made this event even more spooky was the fact that Manuel experienced several other paranormal events afterwards, which meant the ghost must have attached to him, and we can only hope that he is able to get rid of the creature. It is rare that a spirit haunts the same exact person for 2 years, but the video that you are about to witness is a 1 in a million. The lady filming the video had been suffering from paranormal activity for 2 whole years, but rather than uploading every event as they happened, she decided to post them all at once in the form of a TikTok compilation. Today you are going to see one of the clips, but in order to see more, you are going to have to subscribe. This is because she will be featuring on several other haunter videos with the rest of her clips. Anyways, have a watch.
Hey, Ghost Goon. Is it easier if you just talk to me without the radio? Oops. Ghost Goon, are you here right now?
The woman somehow managed to communicate with the spirit, except some of the words that it muttered seemed to be inaudible. It perfectly addressed her by her name, Sarah, and even questioned what she wanted, which was very confrontational and spooky. To top it all off, it pushed a pencil off of the counter at the end, which was why you heard a soft clatter, as if something had collided with the ground. Remember to subscribe so that you don't miss the rest of this story. This next piece of paranormal activity was uploaded to TikTok on April the 30th of 2021 by a publisher called Ghost Rocky 666. It took place in the kitchen of a Hispanic man who had only ever served God well in his life. He never missed prayers, but of course he was not perfect, so he had some sins under his belt. However, he always made sure to apologize and repent. My point is that he was the person you would least expect to be a victim of something like this. But hey, here we are.
Donc voilà, je refais une vidéo parce que il se passe encore des phénomènes, comme vous pouvez le voir. Il y a le tiroir qui s'est ouvert tout seul. Vous pouvez vous constater, je suis tout seul. Il y a juste le chien qui est effrayé en dessous de la table. Sinon, je suis absolument tout seul. Donc, est-ce que vous pouvez vous manifester, s'il vous plaît? Ok. Est-ce que vous pouvez me dire ce que... Oh, je calme. Je ne vous veux aucun mal. Vache. Ok. Je me casse.
The cupboard opened, and you could instantly hear the man's talkative and energetic voice vanish into the abyss. This event was followed up by an entire sequence of paranormal activity so much that the man needed to contact his local church for some help. The last update that we received stated that he was okay, but the job of eradicating the poltergeist had not quite been accomplished. Apparitions are most probably the most terrifying form of ghostly activities on the planet. Being haunted by these things is a scary enough experience, but coming face to face with a demon incites terror that nobody watching this video will have ever felt. If you have felt it, let me know in the comments, by the way. Anyway, the video that you are about to watch took place in a nice and wholesome setting where the boyfriend of the girl on screen decided to capture their gathering on camera. Little did he know that he was going to capture more than just the family.
Aí, fim da festa aí, pessoal. Ó, comprei a câmera nova. Vamos colocar um vídeo no YouTube aí, ó. Ai, que vergonha, não faz isso. A Josi capotada já, com sono. Aí, Thiago, a câmera que eu comprei nova aí. Bebeu demais. Vermelhinha e tal. Vocês nem esperaram pra festa aí, né, mano? Meu Deus do céu, que porra é essa, velho? Mano, eu vi alguma coisa aqui, Thiago. Tem alguma coisa que passou aqui, velho. Ih, velho. Tô falando sério, cara. Tô falando sério. Vem aqui comigo, cara.
Tem nada aqui, não.
Eu vi uma coisa assim, cara.
Tá louco, mano?
Maluco. Maluco. Eu vou voltar a câmera. Eu vou voltar a câmera e você vai ver, velho.
The girl could have sworn that it was her grandfather who passed away, but unfortunately, the social media community would not believe her. Based on the event already being absurd, as anything, I think I will give her the benefit of the doubt and assume it was just her deceased grandfather checking in on her. It was either that or a completely irrelevant demon, which would be far worse. Sticking to the topic of the last clip, this final video is going to feature an apparition, and I must say, it is one of the most horrifying ones that I have featured on the channel. It has that uncanny feel to it where it kind of looks like a human, but some certain features are slightly off, almost letting you know that it is hiding its true colors. The video was captured very late at night by Abdi, who simply wanted some sleep when he heard some banging. He went to check the door, and then this happened.
Hay un niño golpeando la puerta.
At first, Abdi believed that it could have genuinely been a woman or a girl who needed help, so being the good Samaritan he was, he opened the door. However, once the creature vanished out of thin air, he knew that something was up, and you bet that once the recording ended, he began to pray. The following video was recorded by a woman called Mrs. Rez, but she prefers to keep her full name off her TikTok page. She had been going through paranormal activity for roughly 2 months in the build-up to this video, and quite frankly, it was getting too bad. Mrs. Rez had 2 babies who she and their father loved very much, but unfortunately the father worked the night shift a lot, so was not present on this fateful night. Never did any of them think that the spirits would start tampering with their baby's stuff.
I rebuke you in Jesus' name. What the? I rebuke you in Jesus' name. I rebuke you in Jesus' name. Leave these babies alone.
The skateboard toy continued moving backwards and forwards, despite being rebuked several times by Mrs. Rez, showing us just how little authority she had in this situation. Furthermore, some unintellectual whispering noises could be heard down the camera, and who knows who generated them. We do know for certain that there was a spirit in the room with them, though. This next video was uploaded to YouTube on December 31st of 2022 and encaptivated a test by a man called Ivan. Ivan had been convinced that he was being haunted for a solid 2 weeks, and it got to a point that he had to tell the people that he loved and trusted around him. To his dismay, he was completely dismissed, and everybody looked at him as some sort of psychopath for even thinking that a ghost would haunt him. But this is when he got the motivation to catch the ghost. He went to his room late at night, took out his phone and hit record, and this is when something incredible happened.
Here are my hands. Did you see that? Did you fucking see that? Here are my feet, not moving. Here are my hands and my feet. Oh shit, hold on. Here's my face. Why'd you do that? Can you do it again? You forgot, you didn't, did you? There's so many fucking things flying across my screen. I feel like it's dust. It's gotta be dust. I'm gonna take a shot. Mom? No. No. No way.
Not once but twice the ghost listened to Ivan and dropped some items to the ground. This was creepy for very obvious reasons, because not only did it do these things, it did them on command, showing that it had some human comprehension. Despite having this piece of evidence to use at his favor against the allegations of him being crazy, Ivan still had 3 more days before he was due the doctor checkup, so thought that he might as well gather some more evidence. He took it upon himself to take his phone out and start filming every time paranormal levels seemed to have a rise, and in doing this, he managed to capture one more evidential video.
Am I tripping? Am I tripping? You see that? Oh, okay. Can you not do that, please? Yeah, I'm leaving.
This time the ghost moved the handheld vacuum cleaner and even made it balance in an unnatural position for a short period of time. This could not have happened if it had not been a poltergeist, so Ivan was set on him not being crazy, and now had to convince his loved ones. He showed them the videos, and to his fortune, they all believed him, going as far as to trying to cancel the doctor's appointment. For some dumb reason, he still had to attend, but they did not find anything psycho about him, and he left the situation as a victim rather than a maniac. The following video was filmed by a woman called Rachel, and her content actually featured on this channel in our last video, and this is a continuation of her story. For those of you who didn't watch the video, I will give you a quick recap, but I highly recommend giving it a watch after this one, because it was very spooky. Anyways, Rachel took her son to a local fun fair for his birthday when he decided to purchase an Elmo balloon because he really liked watching the Muppets. Of course, due to it being his birthday, she fulfilled the request, but she had no clue what was actually in store. This balloon turned out to be highly haunted, and since getting it, it continuously made its way to the basement. This was creepy, and all but the kid wanted to keep his balloon, so both parents decided to let him keep hold of it, knowing that it would deflate eventually. However, this did not look like happening, and the paranormal events were starting to happen without the balloon's presence in certain rooms. The following video is a scenario when this happened.
Knock.
It's a solid knock. It's like a thick vibration.
Yeah.
I felt it right under me. And do it again.
Okay, yeah.
Do you hear the rhythm in the knock? It's very thick. It's like important.
Yeah.
Okay, try it again.
Okay.
It's another knock over here.
Yeah.
Do you hear the rhythm?
Yeah.
It's very proper. It was a very hard knock.
The spirit that must have been controlling the Elmo balloon would have been making these knocking sounds, and the two parents were beginning to get very freaked out for good reason. There was one huge positive from this whole situation though. The Elmo balloon was not involved in the haunting, which could have meant it had finally deflated enough for the hauntings to come to a halt, at least they thought. This theory would be disproved just as quickly as it was made with one of the most frightening clips ever uploaded on my channel. Have a watch at your own risk. The balloon floated to the basement again, except this time, something far more horrifying happened. Rather than coming to a standstill and nothing happening, a face peeked around the basement door, and it is safe to say that it was uncanny. The ending of this story is surprisingly untold, and we can only sit and hope that Rachel and her family are okay. If they do end up providing any updates, though, you will hear it first on Haunter, so be sure to subscribe. Eli was the last person you would expect to become a victim of paranormal activity, and this was fact. He was a devoted Christian and made sure to pray every day, so the last thing that you would expect to happen to him would be a ghost coming to haunt him. On top of being a Christian, Eli was a house painter and did the task freelance, meaning that people came to him for their houses to be done. He made a large amount of money doing this gig and was more wealthy than your average man, but even the wealthy become nothing when placed in front of a paranormal threat. Eli was working late on some drywall when this happened.
Something that was really cool, and I feel like it sets this house apart. The reason why I'm just not founding this crawl space is because of this drywall. The owner, she had this drywall covering the crawl space. That's not the cool thing about it. And I want y'all to check this out. So while I was here, I found this table, and I also found this extra space right here. You have a vent right there. I think I just heard some footsteps.
Eli found some form of unique part of the house, and he unfortunately let curiosity get the better of him. If he had just continued painting, then perhaps this clip would have never happened, but it did, and there is nothing that we can do about it. He heard footsteps above him and quickly made his way out of the crawl space, but little did he know that he was nowhere near safe, and this was only the beginning. It is important to note that none of the house owners were present, and this was not a squatter.
This can't be a squatter.
First of all, the voice of a little girl could be heard, and that voice in the situation definitely connotated some sort of evil spirit. After hearing this voice, he made his way back downstairs away from the girl's voice and managed to catch the crawl space entrance opening slowly on camera as if the spirit was inviting him back inside. Eli said his prayers and left the facility, valuing his life and his health over the money that he would have got his hands on. Aisha and her cat had been paired together for years leading up to this moment, and their bond was unbreakable. The cat was first with her when she was just 14 because her parents decided to buy the pet. When Aisha grew older, they decided to let her keep it and bring it to her first rented home because she basically did all of the catering anyways. One night, when Aisha and the cat were sitting in the dining room little together, did she know that the pet would not be the highlight of the show here, to her cat collection. Little did she know that the pet would not be the highlight of the show here.
You look so tired. I know. I know you're
Strangely, the chair came out at Aisha, and she was obviously pretty freaked out by this. She had never tampered with any form of paranormal entity or location, so it made zero sense as to why the spirit had chosen her for the haunting. This is one of many questions that will likely never have an answer. Now, despite humans being so out of touch with the paranormal world, there have been several inventions that supposedly allow us to communicate with entities. Some of these methods are very controversial and up for debate as to whether they are legit or not. However, the Ouija board is one that continuously provides things far from the norm. Unlike other methods where clips just show the board changing letters, Ouija boards often contain clips where haunted things happen. That was no different in the next video. It was filmed in the kitchen where some girls were messing about at a sleepover. It is safe to say that they were messing around in places far out of their depths though. Have a watch.
Okej, arbete. Har du bett? Vad ska vi pinna? Vad ska vi se först? Nej.
Vet du, jeg tør ikke å stå hjemme og sette meg.
Jeg skal liksom si god dag eller hei.
Julie, skal man si hei først? Nå sa jeg lyst. Ja, jeg tror... dere må liksom invitere den da, på en måte. Ja, vi må si hei da, hilse. Ok. Stav hei. Ja. Hei. Det går ikke da. Det var det mye. Fy faen, ass.
Du sa jo at det skulle være kul.
Ta ned på god dagen. Det går ikke. Det går ikke. Shit. Kødder du nå? Ok, vet du hva? Nå kan jeg få gå hjem, eller? Du kan ikke gå hjem? Nei, jeg tør ikke å gå hjem. Jeg tør ikke å gå hjem. Ta det bort, da. Ta det bort, sånn her. Jeg tør ikke å ha det her nå. Hva sier du? Ja, men dere, nå faen, nå er jo han, nå er ånden her da. Nå må dere... Ja, velkommen etter av banen. Tenk hvis han kommer og tar meg da. Fy faen, jeg sitter alene. Faen, og så sitter i vinduet også. Hallo, hva skal vi si nå? Jeg fortsetter ikke nå. Jo, kan vi da? Jeg fortsetter, jeg er ikke kjempegøy. Kan dere følge meg hjem, eller? Det skjønner jeg. Ja. Kan ikke vi... Hallo. Jeg skulle aldri vært med på dette, vet du. Herregud, det var sykt. Hva sann skal vi ta med?
Vi må vite om det er damer eller mann, da.
Det kommer seriøst sånne lysglimt foran skjermen, altså. Det er dritcreepy. Hallo, ja. Du har aldri vært med på det her før? Eller jeg har vært med på det, liksom ikke sånn. Nå trodde jeg døra åpnet seg.
Det er sykt.
Herregud. Skal du fortsette nå, synes jeg? Hva skal vi ta med? Det er noe med deg. Kom igjen da. Hallo, vi må fortsette. Ok. Vi tar gi oss et tegn da.
Skal vi si det sammen?
Ok.
1, 2, 3. Gi oss et tegn.
Det dingler. Fy faen. Helvete, hele den driten dingler jo. Vi tar et til da. Sjekka.
Gi oss et tegn.
Surprisingly, the Ouija board failed to connect to the spirits, and the girls were all rather disappointed with the turnout. Of course, they didn't expect it to work, but nonetheless, it would have been cool if it did so. What happened instead was simply terrifying. The girl on the far side of the table had her drink slide on its own accord, and everybody there understandably screamed. Perhaps the Ouija board summoned a ghost after all. On June the 6th of 2021, Chris and Julia were both in their bedroom watching television. It was just 10 p.m. and their favorite show had just released a new series, so they needed to get it started before they could get any rest. Little did they know that this watching session would include a massive interruption. The episode was about 30% complete and the couple were loving it. They were so invested that they didn't even bring themselves to have any sort of toilet or food break. They substituted these periods with a ghost break. Julia was way too scared to investigate what caused the bang, so she sent the man of the house, Chris, to take a look. The result of his search was unfortunate because he found nothing except some cans on the floor. After reviewing the camera footage, they knew for a fact that this was an unnatural cause, so got in touch with their local priest. Like this video and comment part 2 for a chance for me to include it in a haunter video sometime in the future. It's not often that a spirit manages to physically affect a person, but in the upcoming video, this one in a billion phenomenon came to life. Meet Taylor, a 30-year-old electrician who takes no interest in either religion or the general paranormal world. He was convinced that nothing could change his mind on these views, and he was more than entitled to that opinion. However, one day something happened which managed to do the trick. It took place in January of 2025, and it is important to note that Taylor had never experienced anything like this before, so it was a new occurrence.
My front camera is smashed, but I'm here at my girlfriend's house by myself. She always says it's haunted because it sounds like somebody is walking around upstairs. I've never heard it until now. I always say it's not haunted because the house is a little old. But it legit sounds like there's somebody upstairs. I will swing on a ghost, or if it's a person, I don't care. Who's up there? Oh my god, they're like at the top of the stairs. Come down these stairs and I will swing on you, I promise.
Unlike most times where the ghost mentally torments a person, this ghost barged past Taylor on the way past Taylor, causing him to collapse. Taylor was adamant that nobody who knew him who had passed would haunt him, so he was extraordinarily baffled by this situation. What makes things even weirder is that he has not experienced anything like it since either. The following video was captured by a man called Mike, and it was not a first-time ghostly experience for him. In fact, Mike has dealt with countless instances involving a ghost because he purchased his house fully aware that it was haunted due to the extremely cheap cost that he refused to turn down. He was in the process of banishing the spirits from it in order to increase the value, working alongside his local church as well as many freelance ghost hunters. Of course, during this process, the hauntings were still going on though, and Mike managed to film this.
No nie wiem, przed chwilą cały czas coś się znowuż dzieje. Boże. O Boże. A teraz wiecie co jest kurwa najgorsze? Że wczoraj kiedy kot tak długo wpatrywał się w tą lampę, postanowiłem, że odłączyłem od prądu. Gdzie jest ten kabel cholerny? Lampa jest odłączona. Patrzcie. No. A tutaj jest właśnie ten mój kolega. Masakra.
Now at first, Mike believed this was an electrical issue, but due to his situation, he decided to show the footage to some ghost experts. They all claimed that this was a spiritual act, and the lamp never flickered again from this point, so it did make a lot of sense.